Welcome to today's session on business analytics and visualization. So, let me introduce today's resource person, Dr. Sunil Job KA. He is a highly accomplished academician with 25 plus years of experience. He also has a proven track record in curriculum development at college and university level and with administrative experience as principal at college level. He is also an active blogger on topics related to education and IT and has acted as a supervisor and as a consultant of various educational programs and as a resource person for national conferences on data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, research methodology, optimization techniques, and now heading academic solution divisions of IPSR, which is developing academic products for universities and colleges. Before moving to the session, let me have a brief introduction on IPSR Solutions Limited. We are an award-winning public limited IT company that has been delivering high-performance IT training to students as well as corporates for the past 21 years. The company, led by a group of dynamic entrepreneurs and prominent academicians, and has 5 branches across Kerala. Our world-class training team includes industry experts with 19 plus years of experience and also architect-level certified professionals, and our services include software product development, training, and digital marketing services. We also have associated with 250 academic organizations, including universities, autonomous colleges, technical and non-technical institutions. Some of our highlights include: we are the world's leading Red Hat training partner, received 37 awards from Red Hat for delivering quality training in India and overseas. We are expert in corporate training, faculty development programs, technology seminars, workshops, induction training programs, internships, and career support. We have facilitated training for candidates from 50 plus countries, including America, Europe, Africa, Middle East, the Far East, and Australia. We have delivered free online training to 8,000 plus candidates during this pandemic period through our learning management system. We are pioneers in development of academic solution products ranging from simple websites to complex software applications that help to manage academic and operational activities like question paper generation, campus automation, accreditation process, and outcome-based education. So let's begin the session. I welcome Sunil sir once again, and over to you, sir.
So, thank you, Saliga, for your wonderful introduction. Once again, good morning, participants. So, hope all of you are keeping fine and safe. As we know that the second wave of pandemic is much more critical, and it is not the panic which is needed for the this hour. We need the alertness to keep up with the COVID protocols and to be safe. And also, as mentioned, that we will be giving the recordings of this section also, because if you miss something in between, don't worry about that. We will be sending our recordings of these sections to you. And not only that, few of the participants, those who have registered due to ill health, they could not make up into these sections. So anyhow, we will try to go into this section as far as in a better perspective to this this business analytics. So now, as we know that, let us go to this program, that is business analytics and visualization. And for visualization, we'll be giving, we'll be using Tableau for a better visualization into this topic. So when we speak about business, what comes to your my mind is that one of the famous saying that doing business without proper analytics is just like driving a car by your eyes closed. So definitely it has got a lot of meaning. If you want to be successful in the business domain or business platform, one of the most important thing is that you should have an analytical eye into the scenario. Only through that analytical eye that will add value to the business. So definitely business analytics could be considered as an eye to the business process, which gives you value, which add value to your business processes. And definitely in this section, what we are planning to or make is that we'll be just having few reflections on the business analytics. What we'll begin with what is business analytics, and we'll be just having some reflections on what is the importance and significance on the business analytics in this business domain, as well as we'll be just having some analysis on few use cases, how business analytics add value to the business scenarios, as well as the most important part in this segment is that we'll be tackling with a few data set in order to get insights from the data through visualizations, and for that we'll be using Tableau as the tool for that, because Tableau is a very popular tool, and definitely in an enterprise platform, Tableau and Power BI are very powerfully used, more frequently used in an enterprise platform. So before going into this segment, let us have a look into the roadmap of this section. So this is what is going to happen in this next 1.5 hours. That is, as I've mentioned, that we'll have some thoughts on the introduction to business analytics, and because the analytics should begin with data. So we will just go into what's the data and what is the structured format of a data which could be fed into the analytical platform. Then obviously it's very important to just see to few use cases on how this business analytics is been performed in different scenarios, and we'll be just going through the responsibilities and competencies of a business analyst. And as I've said, that we will be just going through a demo session on the HR analytics using Tableau, and that's why we are sending the recordings, because in between, if you miss anything, don't have to worry about that. We'll be sending our recordings for you for your further references. And the most attractive part is that we'll be building an interactive dashboard using Tableau, because interactive dashboard is something very, very important from a business perspective, as well as for the presentations of the business use cases. This is very, very important. And also, definitely, if you are a pioneer to this business analytics, you will be having some questions about what is the salary range of a business analyst in India. So just put a slide on that. What will be the average salary of the business analyst in India, and what makes you a better, not better, best analyst? What are the qualities like that? So that will be the roadmap that we are going to have in this 1.5 hours section. So hope we can do it with 100%, about 100% efficiency of things. So let us begin with this segment. So this is a very beautiful quotes by John Owen. That is, this gives a real picture about what is business analytics. So you could just read that slide. Data is what you need to do analytics. So the data is that something which comes in an analytical. If you want to do some analytics for a business, you need data. That is, some historical data that is related to that particular scenario is important to do the analytics. So data is that what you need to do analytics, and information is what you need to do business. So how can you connect these two terms together, data and analytics? So you collect the data about the business scenario that in which you are engaged, and by the analysis of the data, the historical data related to the scenario, you will get a lot of insights as well as critical observations and informations, and you are putting this data, these informations or these insights into your business process, which definitely will add value to your business. So we could, in a very simple term, what business analytics means, that analyzing the business scenario from the data that has evolved from the business scenario historically, and then by adding that informations and insight from of this analysis into your business process to add value to your environment. So that exactly is business analytics. That's why I have just phrased this business analytics from one of the beautiful quotes that I've got online, that is of John Owens. So this is what business analytics means. So definitely in this scenario, we need, for business analytics, we need analytics, and for analytics, we need data. So you just have a look on that statement. For analytics, we need data. So definitely for any analytical scenario, data is the epicenter of that particular scenario. When we're speaking about business analytics, definitely data is the embryo, or data is the epicenter of the business analytical process. So for any analysis, we need data. So it is always better to think, what is data? When I often speak, I just speak it from a very simple perspective, not going into very complicated or very hard these definitions, which is not easy, easy to digest. So, in a very simple term, what is data? That is, the data is nothing but the information about any characteristics of the objects of a population. So that object can be, if you're collecting data from these persons, people, then the basic component, the basic element of the population is the people. That is, the object is the people, and information regarding the people, we can consider it as data. Or if it is about some situations, then that object is a particular situation at that particular point of time. So in a very simple term, we could say that data is nothing but the information about an object, the information about an object. Information about an object means information about the characteristics of that object. These characteristics of that object could be considered as, that means we'll be collecting information about the different characteristics. So these characteristics could be considered as the variables or the attribute of the data. So for an analytical perspective, whatever be the scenario that you are going to make some research or analytics, you should be able to convert that scenario into an analytical space, that is into a standard and structured format of data which could be easily analyzed. So just we can just have a look into what is the standard format of the structured format of the data, because only when the data is transformed into the structured format, because when we collect data from the real-time environment, the data will be a lot of anomalies, and it will be distorted, and it will not be structured. So first step for a business analyst is to convert this data into a structured format. The structured format of the data means that the data should be presented in the form of rows and columns. So definitely each row will signify that object on which that you're making study, and each column will signify the attribute. Each column will signify the attribute of the variables. This is a small that is a small data that I have trimmed or reduced from an acquittance rule of and that is 8 employees are there. So here you can just look into this data set. So what is revealed there? Here we have got 8 employees. So each employee is that object. So first employee's information is being entered in the first row, second employee is in the second row. Likewise, we have got 8 employees. So 8 objects are there in this scenario. And there are got 4 columns are there. Each column is an attribute. So the first attribute, the first column is the principal key that is used to identify the employee. That is K not 1 is the, instead of name, I just used the principal key. If you want to add name, okay, next variable will be the aim, that will be the name of that employee. Then the next column is gender. That is that first employee is one of the characteristics of that employee. The gender is a male. His age is 31. His salary is 37,500. So if you want more split up, okay, you can split the salary into the HRA part, the basic part, the HRA part, the allowance part, and whatever perks which the employees give, you can subdivide it into this. So this is the structured format from which we have to take, which has been given for analysis. So this is the first thing that you have to understand. That is, whatever the scenario that you see around, whatever the informations that we collect, that should be transformed into a structured data set for our analytical process. And there are a lot of, for an higher end analysis, there are a lot of models which will automatically convert this data into the structured format. There is no need for you to go and convert it into a structured format. For example, if you want to build up, make a face recognition model, that is the data that you feed into it will be a picture format or a video format. So you are not converting this picture or video into rows and columns, because the model is been doing the pre-processing part with the, which has been integrated with the model. So the model will take the image, it will slice it and convert it into a metric format, and then it will be fed into the second component, that is in deep learning network. We are not going into such things. So whatever it may be, if you want to analyze, the data has to be converted into a structured format. And when we come into the basic business scenarios, it is our duty to put it into this form. And for higher end analysis, if there are proven models, then you can just feed the data appropriate for the model, and the model will be taking care. And maybe you will be putting the data in a unstructured format, and then the data will be dealt with these models. So this is something very important. Suppose if you're going for a text analysis, you are just giving a text for this system to analyze. So if you are getting a natural language processing model, then this data will be fed into this natural language processing model, and that will convert it into the appropriate structured format which has been already built in, so that they will be removing they will be stemming the text and then converting it into these vectors, and then it will be feeding into the that means these are everything which is being taken and done by the models. And what you are giving is that you are just giving the text matter into the model as is required. So whatever it may be, the data is something is the basis of all the analytics. And if you want a proper analytics, the first important thing is that converting the data into the format which the system or model or the tool can process. So if you're feeding the data into a higher end model, definitely you can put it in the same format. But if you want to process it by means of this Tableau, Power BI, Excel, these SPSS, we have to convert it into the structured format. And the structured format is that what I have said in this slide, which I have given in this space. So the next thing that we have to think is that we are living in a data, in an environment which has been saturated by data. You can just imagine. That is just go through these what I've given here. That is 1.7 MB of data is created by person per second. That is, every second, an average of 1.7 MB of data has been created by person, and 2.5 quintillion bytes of data are created by human every day. And what is this quintillion? 1 quintillion means 1 and 18 zeros. That is the see the massive amount of data which has been created every day. That is this is the average data which is being created by human every day. So it has been estimated that such a volume of data is being generated every day. And it is said that, because I don't think that everyone here will be active to some extent in the Facebook and other social medias. And the case of Facebook, it has been said that about 350 million of photos are uploaded to the Facebook per day. So you can just see how much data is being accumulated in different sources. And you can just see that that is, it is being predicted that for this is about only 2.5. It is said that 463 exabyte and quintillion are exactly the same. That is 1 and 18 zeros. That much of data will be generated will be generated every day by human as of 2021. So you could just see that we are in an environment which has been so saturated with the data. I will just say a familiar instance, that is when how this data is being collected and how this data is being used. Suppose we know that if you just go out, not at this time because now we are in a period of lockdown. In the normal days, when we go out of our house, definitely when we throughout the our travel, we will be captured in different CCTV cameras here and there. If you're going to a mall, definitely there will be a number of cameras which has been observing you, and every movement of us is been captured there. If you're going and purchasing something and then you are paying a bill, your purchase details will be documented there. So that will be converted as data. On the way, you are entering into a bank, making some deal, that will be stored there. If you're going to a hospital and then take some clinical advices from these doctors, then your data will be again deposited there. Why going this way? If you're sitting at home and if you're working with this Facebook, or if you are searching these Amazons or Flipkart, or if you are just surfing the net, or if you are just because these are the most commonly used this social media is WhatsApp. That is everyone, it is just common to everyone. That is the Telegram and all will be maybe the limited users will be there, but these WhatsApp and all has become very common, that everyone will be having an account and they'll be having some sorts of these communications through these WhatsApp. And you know that WhatsApp is being acquired by Facebook. So whatever activities that you do in WhatsApp, these record will be there. You are depositing the data into your WhatsApps. That means your opinion about a particular thing, or your opinion about a particular event, or if you are just constructing a house, you will be making a lot of chats in the social medias, or you'll be searching the web for some gadgets that you could accommodate for these construction purposes like that. All your intentions will be there, will be reflected in these your activities in these medias, and these activities are always recorded there. And I don't know whether you are observing it. That is when you are entering into this a web, or in this into the Facebook, you can see that the different ads are coming to you, and these ads will be something related to the area of the interest. Suppose if you're building a house, some ads which has been related to that particular construction process has been coming, and you'll be wondering, oh, how did this Google understand that I am constructing a house? The ads are coming like this because you have deposited data in your WhatsApp, and that WhatsApp data will be there with the Google and with the Facebook, and the Facebook has got algorithm to analyze it, and it will make the targeted, this marketing. This is targeted marketing that is sending the advertisement to the people who are really interested in the particular areas. So whenever you enter into the Facebook, or whenever you enter into this Amazon, you could see that you are confronting with the different advertisements, and there are product recommendations which are coming, that these are the products which you may find interest, like that. All these things are done by the algorithms from the data that you have deposited somewhere over the other. So that is the scenario of the present situations. That is we are depositing an infinite number of data knowingly and unknowingly everywhere. But you are having a very specific key. That is, there will be a principal key for connected to all these data. So these will be connected together, and they will be analyzed, and they'll be used for the purposes of advertisements, or bringing a new scheme for you for promotion activities, all these things. Or if you just go to a bank, the bank will be coming to you with different offers, and how it happens, because the bank has got the data from your these economical activities that you have performed. The data which has been gathered about these activities will be used to know, because if you want to go and enter into make an account, you have to enter the PAN and connect it to the PAN. By getting the PAN numbers, the bank will be able to understand whether this customer is truthful in his transactions, and they will use that as a part of giving you some loans or something like that. So this is the scenario that is, it is said that data is the oil of the 21st century that powers the industry and business. So it is this data that we are depositing here and there in many ways, knowingly and unknowingly, and that will be taken by different sources, and they will be integrated together, and they will be processed, and that will be converted into fuel for that is value of fuel for the business processes. So it is in that sense we say that the data is the oil of the 21st century. And what's the role of the oil? The oil will give energy to whatever that is. It is, if you want to run an engine, your cab, your this petrol or diesel cab, you need engine. You need this oil to give energy to the engine. Just like that, data is something which gives energy for your business to boost the business and drive your business to a very better way. So I think this is very clear. What is business analytics? So at this point of time, I've just given few scenarios how you are depositing the data here and there, how these data are being driven together, and how this data is being fed into the model, and how that has come into some values for the business. It is said that for Amazon, they have said that by introducing the product recommendation algorithms into their portal, they have enhanced their business by 40 to 50%. So that is the value. So a normal person who coming and looking all these things may not be able to reach the right destination that he may require. So an analytics, that is when you enter into the Amazons, and if you make some searches here and there, then Amazon will be watchful about your movements, and they will be understanding about your taste, and then they will be applying the association algorithms, and they will be associating those products which will come to your taste and bring it close to you, so that you will be able to purchase that. So that is the power of analytics. So I will say that business analytics is collection information from multiple sources, that is from WhatsApp or from Facebook or whatever it may, multiple sources, clean the data, apply appropriate algorithms or models, and get useful information it contains. And that useful information will be maybe used for bringing some targeted advertisements, or there are a lot of use cases which if it will not finish if I am sit the entire day and speak about that. If that is a lot of use cases are there, because we have got only 1.5 hours time. Here the business analytic role is to observe Here, a business analytic role is to observe the visualization or apply model and try to identify some observation and insights from the data, which otherwise is implicit. So that is business analytics. So you are collecting the historical data related to the business. You are making some visualizations, or for an higher end utilization, you will be building some models. You will be importing data into your model or into the tools, and then you will make the visualizations, and from the visualizations or from the these observations that you get from the models, you will be able to identify some critical situations which has been happening in the business, and that critical observations will add value to the business by changing the formats and styles that you were normally using. So that is the power of business analytics. And you could see that it is a tripolar process. If that is a business analytics is a combination of, that is the business environment, that is a domain where you are going to make the business, and you are dealing with the mathematics and statistical concepts to bring this clarity to the operations which has been involved here. And since the data is very huge, you need a technological support. So the software support from the technology is integrated to bring the what is implicit in the data, or what is happening in that environment around you. So that is business analytics. So it is a tripolar process where you need to integrate the possibilities of mathematics and statistics together with the this computation or this technology, in the sense the different models, or programming languages or softwares to your business environment to give a clarity of the situations which add value to your business. So as I've said that, a few use cases, because all these times I was just mentioning about few use cases here. So here, this one is make decision on whether to approve the loan of an applicant based on his profile. Because you know that if you just put an application to the bank for a loan, and what the bank do is that now every bank has got a well-defined algorithms based on KNN. So the bank will collect the information regarding the particular individual, the information that he has given there, and also by registering the this this Aadhaar card, as well as by the PAN card, they will be able to retrieve all that information, the financial transactions that this person has made in different banks and different scenarios. And then by taking this data and then applying into the model, they will be able to understand whether this person is trustworthy or not. So on the basis of that, they can apply, they can approve that loan or reject the loan. So you may be thinking that I have done some misappropriation in North India, and I am coming to this bank in Kerala and applying for a new loan. Because at the present scenario, everything is interconnected. And not only that, as I'm told that all that informations are getting interconnected by some way or the other. So it is very easy to retrieve that information about a person. So once the bank has got softwares for retrieving these informations from different persons' financial transactions, and they will be identifying that persons, and sometimes even without putting up an applications, they may inform that there is an eligibility for a personal loan or something like that. So that is something very important. That is, the financial data could be retrieved from multiple sources, and that will be able to estimate the persons whether he will be able to whether he is trustworthy or not. That is a clustering algorithm by means of associations. The same thing, that is to cluster a set of movies based on either set of movies based as either popular or not popular based on the social media outreach. So this is another thing which is very common in the current scenario. If you want to have an analysis on the popularity of the movies, then you can have many type of analysis. So this is the analysis based on the likes that the movie is having in these Facebook pages. So here the different movies, suppose here you can just take the Facebook pages of that particular actors or from different sources, and we can extract the likes that has gained about these movies, and by and feeding that into the KNN algorithms, you will be able to categorize on what scale that this movie is popular. Not even this likes, you can if you are having a model which has been built on natural language processing, then you can just take the comments that the people has given about the movies in the social media, and by extracting the comments you'll be able to identify the level of appreciation that the movie is having among the viewers. So that is very interesting and very important. And this is something which is very common, that you have market bucket analysis. That is, if you are going into a store, if you are going into a store, then you could see that the products are displayed in such a way that they will have some connections. That is, a person who are buying some a bread from that is a bread from the supermarket. Obviously, the butter, cheese, all these things will be displayed close to that. So likewise, that is a person who is buying a bread has a possibility of taking a packet of butter or a jam, or maybe you will be purchasing some eggs, so that will be displayed today. So these products which has been displayed in a supermarket, that also has applies these algorithms, and that algorithms is known as a priori algorithm, that is association rule. And how we are doing is that is these customers bill, that is for about a period of 1 year, the number of customers, or about a period of 6 months, the number of customers who have visited the stores, their individual bill will be taken, and in each bill is an object which will be aligned in each row, that is what all products that the customer has purchased. So if there are 10,000 bills, then each 10,000 customers, what are the products that they have purchased, they will be the data set. And by adopting the a priori algorithms, you will be able to identify a person buying this product has got a chance of buying the second product, so these products will be displayed close by. So this is how the analytical possibilities could be integrated into the business scenario. So this is the higher end analytics where you are applying some algorithms, and models to find out to crack the situations and to add value to the situations. So if a store is a very big store, and if you come and look for the bread, buy the bread, and look here and there, and you will not be able to reach that particular product which is close to which he needs. Or sometimes he may not be interested to buy butter, but once he make purchase a loaf of bread, then when the butter is close to that, he have a tendency also to buy that. Okay, then this will add more to my diet, like that. So that will be that is the pattern which has been adopted in many of the stores who are been more analytical eye they are adopting. So this is I've just integrated few use cases, and there are a lot of use cases regarding the weather forecasting, how these farmers are adopting their plantations, and a lot of things are there. I'm not going into this because our main focus is to visualize something. So I'm just going to the next slide. This is the process. This is the process of a business analyst. So this is the roadmap. This is the roadmap on how we are able to extract the insights or knowledge or whatever thing from a business scenario. The first thing is that we have to extract data. The data which has been extracted definitely will be there in some transactional databases. So daily activities will be available in the transactional databases, or you can just extract the data and you can just enter the data into different files and store it in the databases as such. So in a business scenario, what happens is that you have to identify what are the process flow of the business scenario, how the process flow happens, what are the process which has been involved involved in the business process, and from which all area that you are able to get data about the different processes, identify that, extract data, and that data will be stored in the original databases. And if you are making, if you want to make a specific study about a particular problem, then what you do is that you are not taking all the data and and analyzing. You will be just looking for that part of the data which is related to your problem. That will be cut out from this big database. So this is a very big database, and from that you are going to study about a small problem. That is, the problem may be how to plan and this advertisement plan, how to schedule an advertisement plan for the business. For that, you can just get informations about these data from the original database, and only those particular data which has been connected to the promotion and the promotion as well as the revenue that they obtained. Only that data is been collected, is been cut out from that. This is the targeted data. And this targeted data will not be 100% proper. You may have to make a lot of pre-processing there. That means there will be some omissions will be there, or there will be some wrong entries will be there. Instead of the value rupees, there will be numerical form. They may be written in this text form, or some other thing may be entered in wrong columns. So there will be a lot of wrong entries which has been coming in. There will be some abnormal elements which will be coming in. So you need a thorough cleaning of these data. Suppose if there are more tables are there, then you have to join the different tables by means of the appropriate these keys, that is the foreign keys and primary key. So they have to be integration of the data. And suppose if it is in some other case of analytics, suppose if your data is images, then the images has to be converted into the structured format. For that, there will be model set for these pre-processing process. So whatever it may be, the pre-processing is the most hectic part in this analytical process. That is removing these anomalies from this data and validating the data and making it perfect to enter into your softwares or the models. So this cleaned data will be specifically stored. The transformed data will be specifically stored in some locations, and that locations we can say it as a data warehouse. So in a data warehouse, what we need, what the data is, that the data will be polished, cleaned, smoothened. Then a lot of other pre-processing things may be, that is redundant values may be removed, and it will be stored in a perfect format. And this data will be fed into, this is the cleaned and smooth data. This will be entered into our softwares. If it is a visualization software, you will get different visualizations. If you are putting this data into some other models, then that model will be giving you some of the information that it is intended to produce. So this is the process. That is knowledge discovery from database. So this is the thing which the process which has been involved in data analytics. And what is the final product by this business analytics is that the final product in this will be, they will be giving some insights to the stakeholders. These insights will add value to the business. So these insights will be in the form of reports, or it will be in the form of a dashboard, so that the stakeholders will be able to slice and dice the dashboard and extract some important information that they need. So this is the final product, the knowledge or the insights or the critical observations that we obtained through this process of business analytics will be presented in the form of either PPT or different reports or documentations or dashboards likewise. Maybe it will be presented in the form of stories, or in the words which has been which the stakeholders may be able to understand. Maybe it may be in the form of a stories or whatever it may be. So that is the final product of analytics. So this, I don't think that there is a need for elaborating on this, because why business analytics? To gather insights. That is what the end point we reach, knowledge or insights that generate reports for the stakeholders, perform market analysis, because that is very important for a business scenario. That is, the business has to be very vigilant about the market fluctuations, about the trends, what all things which has been affecting, the threats, the concerns, the opportunities, challenges. All these things will be made clear and vivid by proper analytics, and definitely business analytics. The improvement is something, the end target of these business analytics. And this is something you should know, that what are the competencies for a business analyst need is that to collect business requirements from stakeholders, because a business analyst have to collaborate with the stakeholders at every point, with inboard and outboard these stakeholders, identify the area for improvement, process flow diagram and data mapping. Process flow diagram is that, which means that what are the stages by which the business flows, what are the areas that the business covers, the entire flow chart of the business, and from where all we can tap out the informations about its status. That is the process flow and data mapping. The extraction of data from multiple sources, then pre-processing and data integration. That is what we have mentioned previously. Then apply algorithm models and visualization to use cases. So whatever thing that you have prepared, you have to apply that algorithms or models, then develop insights from the visualizations, evaluate the risk, and develop report stories and possible action plans. These are the different responsibilities and competencies which a business analyst requires. So in short, in a very brief, a day in the life of the business analyst to collaborate with the stakeholders, brainstorm to know about the requirements, processing, which should be done through the different models, and generating reports. This is what, so a business analyst role will revolve around all these things. He cannot stick onto, I will only do the analytical part. No, he have to collaborate, he have to brainstorm, because they may not directly get the issues. They have to brainstorm about the different events, then processing and generating reports, which reports means report also should have some prescriptive what measures that has to be taken. All these things is very, very important for a business analytics. And now we are now coming little more converging into the visualization. So visualization is one of the most important area or important tool for a business analyst. That is, visualization means giving life to the data, because you are collecting informations from different sources, and the data as such will not show any meaning. It will be very irregular, it will be very ugly, and maybe it will be very massive also. So when you are converting data into a visual, maybe it can be a bar chart or a tree diagram, or it could be it could be a line chart, it could be a butterfly chart, or there are different visualizations which has been available. So if you're converting that data into visualization, definitely it will picturize what has happened, what will happen in future. All these things will be very beautifully portrayed, so that the data will start speaking to you. So this is my favorite part about analytics, taking flat, boring data and bringing it to life through visualization. So that is the power of visualization. Visualization is a process of giving life to the data. That is, the data which is there in rows and columns will take different shapes, and it will start giving some information that you will need. It will speak to you. That is giving life to the data. That is, data visualization is a graphical representation of information of data by using different visual elements like this. And this is something which we need, very important. That is, the human brain can get information 10,000 times faster from image than the text. So if you are just going through the text and then perceiving the text and getting ideas, the symbolic ideas from the text, instead of that, if you are just presenting the scenario by means of a visual, that is 10,000 times better and appealing to the stakeholders. They're able to understand. So that is the power of data analytics. And these are the different tools by which we can perform business analytics. Like the most popular of the tools is Tableau. That is what we are going to do in the upcoming part of this section. And Power BI is equally this is a Microsoft tool, which is also very powerful. This has got a very powerful platform for data pre-processing as well as collaborating. That is a paid version. That is a Power BI professional. You will be able to collaborate from different destinations with the project. Then this is Python. This is a very powerful language. You will be able to build models there. There are very powerful libraries in Python like Pandas, NumPy, the Seaborn, this sklearn, TensorFlow for data analytics is very powerful, as well as this is R. It's a programming language. It is a highly statistical language. If you are going with the higher end analysis for researches and all, R is very powerful. Excel, very commonly used, but we are only explored about less than 5% of the text. Excel is having an immense possibility, not only in data analyze this data analytics, but also for optimization techniques. Also, this Excel is very powerful. SPSS is also equally powerful. Is very equally powerful that to this Excel, because I've done my PhD totally on SPSS. So it's a very powerful tool. A lot of higher end analytical possibilities are there. And we are now again coming down to this Tableau. So when I speak about Tableau, Tableau is the grandmaster of visualization. So now I think most of the enterprises are using Tableau in order to extract the information into very beautiful visuals, which is very appealing and very easy to digest. So Tableau has been very commonly used. The thing is that the Tableau has got an enterprise version, and also it has got an open source version. The open source version is public, Tableau public, and you can download Tableau public, which is from the Tableau website is there. You can directly enter your email and you can download the Tableau public and you can work with that. And enterprise version is that will be available only for 15 days trial pack. And once you are have developed competencies in Tableau public, you can go with this 15 days trial pack. But the Tableau, if you want to get the license, it is a little expensive. Every month you have to pay about $10 to $15, I think. So that is very this is expensive at an initial stage, other than an enterprise level. So the thing is that Tableau public will serve the purpose. The thing is that you cannot you cannot save these your workings in your desktop. You have to save it in the data repository, and you can share the link to the others. That's the only difficulty with the Tableau public. So if it's an enterprise version, you can just every visualization you could just right click and copy, and you can copy it to your presentations, or you can copy it to the other documents which you are working with. So that is the both the positive and negative of the Tableau, the public version. And the other thing is that the Tableau public cannot be directly integrated to these our databases. That is we have to extract these files from the databases into the Excel format or CSV format, and then you can connect it to Tableau. So that, and also Tableau cannot be public cannot be connected to the R programming and even Python. If it is the Tableau's enterprise version, you can connect it with the Python as well as R, and you can work along with that. So when we say about Tableau public, we have got 3 frames for Tableau public. One is connecting frame, then worksheet, and since we are dealing with the dashboard is another frame, and also there is a storytelling frame is also there. So I think let us go into this our first demo. That is, I have planning to make 2 demos, 2 demonstration about from a business scenario, just to give you an idea how this I've told that analytics, the data will start speaking to you. Let's see how this data is going to speak to you. For this, I have going to make the first demo, the HR data analytics, the use case using Tableau. The objective is to analyze the sales data of a company operating from various regions and performing the sales through sales executive. So this is the modus of operandi of that company. That is, they are conducting the sales through the different executives. And what we want to know is that what is the sales potentials of these sales executives, which product is of on demand, and what is the performance strategies of these sales executives, and what which period that the sales is at the peak. So this is what we are going to make, and let us see the data set is there. I will just show the data set. The time is running. So this is the office supplies. So this is the data set. Here we have got the first column is the order date. The second column is the region where these sales representatives are working. Then the name of the representatives, and these items that they are performing is office stationaries like pen, pencils, all the binders. All these are the office stationaries that they're dealing with. These are the number of units that they have sold and price per unit. So the first column is regarding the sales made by Richard on 4 July 2014. He works in East region. Richard has sold a pen set 62 units at a price of 6.99. So this is the different rows will signifies the different business made by different these executives. So this is our data. So let me open the Tableau Public. So this is the Tableau Public's data connecting page. Here we can see we can connect it to through different. If it is Excel, you can connect it through this. If it is CSV file, we can connect it to this. If it is JSON file, likewise, if it is PDF file, likewise, there is a number of data connecting. These links are there. This is mine is an Excel. I am just connecting it to this. Connecting to the this data set has been the data set. This Tableau has read the data set and it has been imported into the Tableau's workspace. There, here you could see that this data is there. So this is the different columns which is there, and then we can go into this worksheet. So here this will be the worksheet, and here we will be the different variables are displayed here. These are the categorical variables, and these are the numerical variables which is there. Unit price, numerical value, units and numbers. These are the these datas are the categorical data. And here these are the rows and columns. The row and column. This is the X and Y axis. We could say the column as well as the row. If you want to see which region is having the maximum sales, just left click this region, left click this region and drag it to the column, and the number of counts. See, this will give you an information regarding the number of the number of units sold. It's not that. This is the number of count only. Then that is number of units sold. That is the first central region, 1,199 units were sold. In East region, 691 units are sold, and in this region, this much of units are sold. So we could say that which is the most potential region? Definitely the central region is the most potential region. So we will just take that region and we will just draw the items. So we have got 5 items with this company. Binders are there, desk is there, pen sets and pencil. These are the different items which the company's been dealing. So we could see that with respect to the sale unit, the most potential item is the binders, then followed by the pencil as well as the pen set. That is, the visual will be speaking to you about the items. If you just drag this item, and if you want to evaluate which is the top performing executives, then you can draw these representatives into this column. Okay, now you have got a clear idea on who is the if it is not fully, if you are not able to read this completely, you can rotate this label, so now you can read the full name. So you can see that Richard is the most potential salesman. He has made the most potential sales. Okay, now if you want to make another type of analysis like this region, I am pulling this region here. Now it is been little more clear. That is, all the representatives are not working in all the region. The representatives is been assigned a different region, and we see that in the central region there are 6 representatives there, and out of the 6, Alex is the most performing representative. In the east, we have got only 3 representatives in the field, and in the Richard is the most potential, and in the west definitely it is James. James is the most potential representatives which has been there. So you can get a very clear idea on who is the most potential with respect to the sales. So now we can just have another look into here like that. I am taking away this region and I'm putting the items here. You can look into these items. So with respect to the binders, that is, these representatives are dealing with a different product. So we could find with respect to this item binder, the top performing is Bill. In this person, Bill is the top performing salesman with respect to this product, followed by the Richard. With respect to this desk, only 3 persons are making sales. That is James, Matthews, and Smith. The others are not making sales with respect to these binders. So you can inquire about that, whether these are the only persons who are given permission to deal with binders, or others who are not looking into that, or this pen. The most potential is Nick is there, and with respect to each item, you will be able to identify which person is competent or which person is having most potential in that particular product. And for that, you can just ask them what are the strategy that they adopt to convince the customers and to make the sale. They can exchange their opinion, because the same approach will not be sufficient for all products. Different products may need a different approach. If so, what are the strategies? They will be able to share the strategies like this. So this is very so every items. And if I'm just taking that item and taking the region here, we will be able to identify. I will be just identifying the region like this. So we have got 3 regions. In which region, which product is of demand? So here we could say that in the central region, definitely the pencil is of great demand. The pencil is of great demand in the central region. And at the east region, the pencil is the least demand, but binder is having the most popular among them. And in the west region, definitely here the pencil is on demand. So you could just see why. You will be able to identify what makes this region, why this has been more popular among these, what is the nature of the people who has been there in that particular region. So likewise, you will be able to make some insights. So insights, some hidden things. Why this pencil has been popular here, and why is the pencil is not been popular here? What's the category of the people who has been there? So likewise, more analytics, more drilling down into the nature of the customers could be made by this way. So now let me change it and then make it with respect to representative. Suppose if you are going to give an award, if you are going to give an award to the representatives, the most promising representative, definitely you will be giving that award to Richard because he has got the maximum sales. But from this company's perspective, it is not the sales which is which matter. The company need a revenue. How much revenue that the salesman has brought, that is something very important. But here we don't have any information regarding the revenue here. But I will just look into this data once again. The Richard has sold pen set in the East region on this date. He has sold 62 units of pen set. Each unit costs rupees, not rupees, this is a dollars, 4.99. 4.99 is the rate of one pen set, and he has sold 62. So if you want to get revenue made by Richard for that particular deal, you have to multiply these two. We have to multiply these two. Let me see. Let us be able to multiply it. For this, we can have a calculated field here. For calculating the calculated field, you can keep the cursor here and right click, or you can come here and this drop down calculated field is here. So you can just enter revenue here. Revenue, and revenue is the product of units and unit price. I will just enter a unit, then units are available here. Product asterisk the star operations, then units. The units is here. Okay, if I multiply these two, I will be getting a revenue here. Now you can just check out here, view data. A new column has come, that is revenue. Now I want to make a study. I want to make a comparison on how much revenue that this salesman has contributed to the company. Just dragging this revenue to this here. So what we get is that, see, now the things has changed. Now the things has changed. Before, Richard was the most promising salesman, but now the Richard has, with respect to the revenue, Richard has gone down. See, with respect to the revenue now, who is the best salesman? It is Matthews, but he is nowhere in the scene here. He is not first, he is not second, he is not third. But with respect to revenue, he is the top performing. And the second is Susan. Susan is nowhere here. But with respect to the revenue, Susan is the second best. And this is the next person. Okay, so if you want to make this comparison with respect to the region, if you want to give an award with respect to the region, okay, you can give for in the East, it was Richard for the number of units sold, but with respect to the revenue, the most smart salesperson is Susan. Here and here it is Matthews, and here, okay, the same person, James, is there. But you could see that here only 89 units were sold, but with respect to the revenue, only a fragmental difference between this James and Thomas is there. So this is the analytics. You can view data from different way, put it into a visual form so that the data will start speaking to you. And we want to know that which is the period where there is maximum sales. Then, okay, for this, the order date, I'm taking that order date and taking the these unit sales. Now you could see that from the data is contained 2 years of data from 2014 to 2015, and you could see that the sales are going up. The sales are going up. Okay, now I will just I want to get a monthly distribution of the sales. So I am just taking here drop down and take a month. Now you can see how the sales are changing. How the sales are changing from in July 2014, the sales were like this. If you come down like here, in between there is a point, or if I put a T, isn't it? In between there is a point, August, then September, then October, November, how the sales are there. So throughout this span, the maximum sales were during the period of April. So the most potential period for this company is April, and the most worst period is 80. Now we will be having a confusion. It is whether the revenue is also like this. So for this, I will take the revenue and put it here. The revenue is having a different scenario, because 80 is much down here, but the revenue respect to the 80 is not much down there. If you want to view it in a single plane, in a single graph, you can make a dual axis like this. So both the revenue as well as the sales is being projected in the same graph. Here revenue is blue, and the orange is the revenue is the unit sold is orange, and revenue is blue. So here you would see that the revenue is coming down here, then going up, then going down, going up like this, and the revenue is been going down, and here the revenue is still down. But here you could see that in this period, that is April 2015, the maximum sales were there, but see the revenue in April 2015. So you can just see what is the difference. What is the difference between them? Why it has happened? It may be that those products which is bringing more revenue is not being sold during that particular period. We can make inferences like that, and it is quite interesting. I will show some thing about these. If we can apply filter also. I'm going to apply filter to the representatives. I'm taking these representatives to the filter and click OK. So now the representatives are here. I will show this filter here. Now I am going to check the performance of these representatives one by one. I'm going to check Alex. See what is the performance strategy of Alex. When he joined here on November, the sales are very down. The sales as well as revenue is very down. And within from November, the next month, he has shooted up. The maximum sales he have made and also revenue. Maximum, this is the sale and this is the revenue part. And then what happened? And what happened? When it come to the February, his sales has dropped down drastically. The revenue has dropped down drastically, and the sales also has come down, but revenue has shooted down. And from February onwards, only gradual increment was there in the sales, but revenue is still in the bottom line. The revenue is still in the bottom line. So this is the use case of that particular representative Alex. The next one, Bill. I'm taking away the Alex. I'm taking away the Alex. Now Bill is, now the performance of Bill is there in the scenario. You can just see how you can see that there is a very, very drastically improvement, systematic improvement in the revenue by the salesman. So this is a very promising salesman. He is been improving the revenue gradually up like this. And this is the sales volume increasing, decreasing at this point of time, but at that point of time, the revenue is high. So this is a very tactical and smart salesman. Though the sales volume has gone down, the revenue is still going up. See, this is how this person's sales is there. You can take anyone like this, James. You can see the performance of James like this, from with respect to the revenue coming down, then going up, coming down, going up. He is not a consistent salesman. At times it comes up, goes down like that. No, this is for everyone. James, you can take only James. Don't click everyone. So the combined effort will be projected. Only James. So here you could see that that James, what happened is that at the starting point, James maximum sales were there. But see, the James revenue has come down tremendously, and only a gradual increment is there. Though the sale volume has gone up. So at this period of time, this is the wrong sales policy which has been adopted by James. The unit has been, sales unit has increased, but the revenue has gone down. So at this point of time, his sales strategy is totally unproductive with respect to unproductive with respect to the revenue. So you can make comparison like this. So this is the magic of these analytics. Now you could see what I have said. The visualization is a process of giving life to the data. The data is speaking to you. This has happened at this point of time. So that is the power of analytics. And we have got one more thing to be included here. That is this. I am going to flush out this data. That is close the data source. And we have got so this demo, and we have got one more demo, that is the interactive dashboard. I don't think that we will be having a very detailed dig into the interactive dashboard. Anyhow, I will just connect it to. That is a CSV file. So I'm going through the text file and connecting it into this. So here we have the customer ID. These are the bank customers, their gender, their age, their region, then their job classification, their balance account. So we'll be going to make an interactive dashboard with respect to this. So for this, I want to project 5 attributes of this data set. 1, the region where this bank is there. 2, about the gender of the customers, about the age, that means the customers age group, in which age group the maximum customers are there. So I want to make a visualization with respect to the age, with respect to the bank balance, and with respect to the nature of job. So these are the 5 things which I would like to bring here. But here, unfortunately, this region is a text. I want to convert it into a geographical role. So I just converted it to the geographical role. So latitude and longitude will be there. The Tableau will be identifying the location by means of this latitude and longitude, and I'm drawing it into the workspace. So what happens is that a map has come here. A map has come here, but 4 unknowns are there. Let me check this. Because here by default the country is been India, but this is a data set which is not of India. It is of United Kingdom, UK. So it is the United Kingdom data set. So I have just, the regions are only available at the United Kingdom. So I have just corrected it, and now you could see that the map has come here. So this is the location. So this is the location. I am just editing it and putting it location here. Okay, the location, I bolded it, and the location. So now this is the 4 location: United Kingdom, Scotland, Wales, and North Ireland. So I will just make it a little more darker, because that is only the before visualization is only a spotlighted, but now it is dark. And now I will take this region and put it into colors. So I've got different colors here. The 4 regions are very visible here, and I'm just putting label also. So Scotland is there, Northern Ireland, Wales, and England. So these are the 4 regions where the banks are operating. So I've got first visual here. The second visual is regarding the gender of the people. So I'm taking the gender into the column, and number of customers here. So we have got the customers here. So this is only a 2 bar diagram. So this just looks like a stick. So I can just change the visual here. I'm just going to make it as a pie diagram. So it will be only 2 components are there. I think so better it is a pie diagram is there. I want to increase the size a little bit. If I'm putting it here, it will turn into a square. So the boundaries are shown here a little more bigger. And if you want to again make it big, you can take the cursor here and you can pull it like this, and put the cursor here close by and pull it like this. So the visualize, so we can put it as gender of customers, gender. I'm going with a little more speed. Gender of customers, So here gender of customers, I am bolding it. Okay, gender of customers are there. And if I want to make the gender, if I want to make it in the label, okay, gender is there. And if I want to make the number of customers, I can drag into the labels. The number of customers is also here. So that is there. So next visual, I want to make a visualization about the age group of the customers, but unfortunately age is in a this numerical format. So if you want to enter the numerical format into this, we want to convert it into a categorical data. That means you have to convert the numerical into class intervals. Normally you will be familiar with class intervals. So in order to make that, you can click here, gender, create bin. So bin is the class interval, and here the class interval size is 3.95. It is better to put it as a whole number. I will put it as 5. And so now you could see that the age category, the age has come here. I'm pulling that age into the column, as well as the number of customers. So I'll be getting a clear-cut idea about the different customers in different age category will be displayed here. But suppose if we want to make a change, this is the class interval is 5. If I want to make the class interval size into 10 and 15, so we have to make different bins for that. So we can consolidate all this into by setting parameters. At one time we can change the class interval size from 5, 10, 15 like that. For this you can make parameter here. So here you take the cursor here, right click, set parameters, and in this parameters you can put that as a age category. Age category, and here it is the age is in integer format. The current value of the age is 5. I'm putting it 5, and I want to get the class interval of size 5, class interval of size 10, as well as the class interval of size 15. I've added 3 category here. So this parameter is ready there. So the next thing is that I want to show parameter in the legend here, and here class interval 10 is there, the class interval 15 is there, nothing has been changing here, again 15 here. I think it will be better if I put a slider here, so I can slide it like this, but it is not happening, nothing is happening here. So if you want to make it happen, you want to connect this age, you want to connect this age bin, edit that age bin, and you have to connect it into that parameter, age category. Age parameter, you have connected it, now you can change it. So if the class interval is, isn't it, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, the numbers like this. If it is 15 to 30, 13, 30 to 30, 30 to 45, 45 to, so the class interval is been changing. So there is no need for separate. It has been made interactive here. And if you want to make little more beauty, then you can just take it to colors. So there will be a gradient. That is, when the number increases, it becomes dark. When it decreases, it becomes less. So this is we can give a title, and this title is the age of customers. So this is the title which I'm going to give it over there. So age category of the customers, let it be a little more bold also, because so that will be, you can change color also, because I'm not modifying it a lot, because we have got a very little time is left. And same regarding the bank balance of the customer, same process. I want to create a bin for this. We will make a bin of 10,000. 10,000, the bin is created. The same process, draw it here, then bank this number of customers in that category will be displayed here, and we can make a set of parameter also for this. Set parameter, name of the parameter is balance. Balance category, and float is there. Now the present condition is 10,000, And before we have taken list, we will take a range. Range, I want different class interval. I want 5,000, 10,000, etc. So that I could, the minimum value is should be class size is 5,000. The maximum class size is 25,000. And step size is 5,000. So what does it mean? The minimum size, class interval size is 5,000. Maximum is 25,000, incremented by 5,000. So 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20, all these will be there added. So the balance category is there. I will show the parameter here. Now it is already in the slide, and I'm going to connect the balance into edit balance and connect that balance into balance category. Now we could see you can change it. If it is 5,000, this balance, what happened, because we are going with a little more speed. I have just a balance category. I didn't make the connection. Okay, now you can see that it is 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 25,000. So different class intervals you will be able to find here. And since the previous one is blue, I will just take the colors, and I think I can apply that gradient here. So I will just take this and put it here. So I will get a gradient, and now I will be going to change the color. The color will be, I think green will be comfortable. Okay, now we can change the customers like this. This will be available. And the last one is the job category. The job category, I just pull it here, and the number of customers, I'll pull it here. This job category, and I will take a different visual. A different visual, that is the and this visual is the tree diagram which is available with the Tableau. I will reduce it little like this, and I will also put it like this. Okay, little more shrink like this. So now this is blue color. So if you want to put the category here, the number of persons which is there, but this is a white color and the color is blue. And if you want to make little more logic, then you can revert this and okay, some white shade is there, but still the blue is there. So this is the and we can edit the title. What is this? Job category of customers. Job category of customers will be there, and I have written here, and this is what the bank balance of customers, bank balance. Bank balance of customers is here. And finally, we are going to create a dashboard with this new dashboard. New dashboard is going to be created here. So we will just set the size. So dashboard is nothing but a consolidated. We are going to change this one, the size. The width is I will put some 1,500, and here about some 900. Let it be a little more bigger. So this is the dashboard. So dashboard is bringing all these visualization into one canvas. So I will just bring this one location of the bank location. Then next visual I will bring it here. The Tableau is showing a selection where to place. Okay, I placed it here. And next one is this one, bank balance of the customers. I will place it here, and I will just reduce this a little more because that will be comfortable with this. And one more, this one, I will place it here. So this will be no, it is not 6. It is 5. Oh, okay. And we will auto fit to width, fit to fit width. So it will be comfortable like this. So this will be the dashboard. and we can see the dashboard. This will be the dashboard which has been already created. But if you click here, nothing is changing. Nothing is changing. So if you want to make it interactive, what to do is that we have to activate the filter here. The filter, this is activated. This is activated. Here, this is activated. Here, this is activated. And here, this is activated. So all the filters are activated, and now I will just coming back to the visualization here. Now, if you want to get the status, if you want to get the status of Scotland, how many, that is with respect to the mail, with respect to the mail, we have got only 805 these customers are from male, and for female only so much of customers. So you can make some plan, some different plans for in England for some loans or some these developmental programs, financing some startups for the men, so that more customers are there from the men category. And here we could see that the age, the more people of the England are in the age group of 45 to this age, if you want to make it a little more, from 45 to 60 age group. So you can make some plans, some pension plans, or some plans which fit that particular age group there. And you could see that in England, it is not white collar and blue collar. It is the Scotland. The Scotland is I've clicked. It is the other category people are more, and their saving is at this level. At this level, that is at this level, 10,000 to 20,000. 20,000 is the bank balance is there. So that much is. So if you are going to England, that is more than half is that of the female population is there, but we could see that the white collar job population is there. So you can set these planning. That is the we can make the different promotion packages or the different programs or packages which suit these customers. And if you go to Wales, okay, again something has changed like this. And if you go to Northern Ireland, then this is the scenario. Maximum majority is female. So you can make some promotion plan according to these for the women population, for the women customers, as well as the more age group is between 20 and 40. So you can different policies or different loan packages could be made available for construction of houses or purchasing of vehicles like that, and more are from the other categories. So this is an interactive dashboard. You can slice and dice it at different stages. If you want to make a study about the women, you can just click the women population here. These are the statistics regarding the women throughout. If you want to get the statistics about the women white collar, this is the statistics. So if you again click it, we will go away from selection. If you want to get the population of white collar, then maximum these people are from women population here, and the white collar people, their maximum this age group is between 30 to 40 are the age group of the people. Like this, you can slice it from any angle and you can make decision. So this is the power of analytics. You are consolidating a data set into a different visualization, consolidating into dashboard, making it interactive so that you can slice this dashboard from any level like this. So coming back to our presentations. So I've just said that I've just collected a slide on what is the average salary of a business analyst in India. That is per year, it is about 6.5 INR, 6.5 lakhs INR is the average salary of the data analyst. That means it can be 10 plus for 10 plus for senior data analytics, and the entry level will be from 3 to 4, maybe like that. This is the average salary range, and this is what makes you a great business analyst. That is, you have to be proactive in communication, problem solving, and facilitation of that activities. You can just think a mediocre data analyst thinks they have identified a risk but aren't sure, so that they wait to see what happens. If you are a good business analyst, identify a risk and send an email to the project manager, inform the stakeholders. And if you are a great, alert the project team, provide suggestions to eliminate the risk followed by. So a great data analyst will be always proactive, identify, alert, and even give suggestions. And for problem solving, did not realize there was a problem and just wrote down what the stakeholders said. That is, this if you are a poor data analyst, you will not be able to identify. You will just say that the stakeholders will be saying that there are some problems, but still you are not able to identify. They realize that there was a problem documented, but unsure not to solve it. So you identified the problem, but you are just popping up to find out solutions. But a good great data analyst, they provide at least one possible feasible solution for that. And for felicitation of the environment, active great data analyst lead the discussions, ask the questions, and will help to ensure the goal to be discussed, to be attained. So active, a great data analyst will be always proactive in the dimensions. So I think this if you want to have a mastery on the data analytics, definitely a small look into the learning path. The basic the basic analytical sections will be for a business analyst could be tapped out from this basic data analytics. And from the professional data analytics, the domain you can select as the business data analytics. You can have a professional data analytics from there. And so this is the roadmap of a professional business analyst. And if you want to be a little more technical guy in this business analyst, if you want to make models, what I've told that I've been speaking about the different models which will be able to guide you through different way. You can have Python with the data analytics, and then data preparation and management, machine learning, then deep learning, and even you can scale the heights of AI. So these are the learning path you can select. If you want only the analytical part, you can go in the first way. And if you want to be little more this technical knowledge into the these algorithms as well as AI enabled solutions, you can have the other path where you can have a greater possibility into the business scenario in a higher profile. So that is all that I would like to share in this section, because you know that 1.5 section is nothing. I have to, because I've been discussing about more use cases at that point of time, because that's something which you need, because you want to explore the data analytical possibility in the say in the panorama around you. So that is, use cases are important, and we have visualization also, and I've done these cases of visualization. So this is just to trigger up your passion, and you can work with the more possibilities of Tableau. More videos all will be available in the net also, so you can just have an analysis of that also. So thank you for hearing me.